So I was recently asked, how do you really create a Bubble app? How do you really set up a Bubble account and build an app on Bubble? And in this video, we're going to talk about how to set up your Bubble account, number one. Number two, how to create an app. And number three, the different parts of the app, the Bubble editor is what we call, in 5 minutes. This is AB from AgileFX. We're the professional mobile developers based in Boston. So without further ado, let's dive in. So this is Bubble homepage. You go to the bubble.io. This is where you're going to land. If you don't have an account, you just click on Get Started, and that's where you just put in your email address, password. That opens your account. I like to log in with Google to make things easy. So I'm just going to go here and put that in my email account. Long story short, now once we sign into the Bubble account, it will take us to our Bubble homepage. This is Bubble homepage. If you never created the app, this is where you're going to land, where you're going to see some resources and a button that says create a new app. So all you have to do is click on create a new app, and first thing you will be asked for you to do is to give a name to your app. So in this case, we're just going to call it AgileFX. And here I'm just going to call this other website. Just doing a video example. And is this an internal, external? I'll just put external, customer facing, and we'll just put other. So once you enter that information, well, it looks like the AgileFX AB has already been taken. So I'm just going to call it AgileFX AB-1. And so what this does, this creates your Bubble app on the Bubble account. So now this is your actual app editor. And I'm going to walk you through now. Bubble does have, I'm going to move this video right here. So I'm going to show you a couple of things. Now, first, Bubble does have their own assistant. Basically, it's a tool that's going to navigate you through different parts of Bubble Editor. But in this video, I'm just going to walk you through real quick. Number one, design. This is your canvas. This is where you go and paint your app. If you want to create an image, or basically if you want to add like an input, buttons, text, whatever you want to do, you do this on this canvas. Now I created this grid right here by just setting up a grid layout, so it kind of gives me an idea of different pixels. Now this is more on the design side, but you might not see that, so it might be just plain white or maybe a different color, but just so you know, you go into grid and borders, and that's where you're going to be able to see things. So this is where you're going to design. As I said, if you want to add an image, you go here, you click on that image element here, you drop here, and that's where your image element shows up. And then you click and upload to upload the image. Now here in the second tab, this is workflows. The workflows are basically an action item. If I click on this button, then this needs to happen. So if that, then this is basically what workflows are designed for. There's much more things you can do with workflows apart from if this and that. So long story short, this is basically allowing you to make connections between different action items. Think about it this way. You flip a switch to turn on a fan. When you flip it up, it turns on the fan. When you flip it down, turns off the fan. And so this is where the wiring happens. This is where you connect the wire between switch and a fan. Then there is a data part. So data is basically where you're going to define different data types. You build different data tables. And then there is many-to-many or one-to-many relationship type of data that you can do. This is more designed on a SQL base, so you can go in here and be able to set those conditions and rules. There's privacy settings, of course. With Bubble privacy setting, you'll be able to set some privacy rules that's going to protect your data to be exposed by different users and so on. App data, this is where you'll be able to see the actual data, whatever it's been entered through the app. And then the option sets are basically a little bit of an advanced side of thing where you can create different option sets. And we're not going to go into the detail in this video. Maybe we'll make a separate video for that. And file manager is basically whatever the files or assets you may have uploaded onto your app, you will be able to see that in here. Styles is basically your style sheet. If you're familiar with CSS style sheet principle, this is basically it. Plugins is where you can download and install external plugins to enhance your app functionality. settings. This is your general settings of the app where you'll be able to select app plans, other general settings, SEOs, domains, and so on. You can also add different collaborators. It does require a higher level of plan if you want to add different collaborators. APIs are basically designed for APIs. SEO tags for SEO purposes and sub apps. This is more advanced. We're not going to dive into that in this video. And the versions basically talks about what different what different versions are out there for Bubble and their release dates and their feature release and so on. Logs is basically, these are your server logs. You'll be able to see any activities that have been happening onto your Bubble app. Schedulers are basically your schedule API workflow logs, and so you'll be able to see that here. And under pages, you'll be able to see different pages of your app. So right now, by default, it comes with index, 404 error page, reset password page. So those are the 3 pages already been built in. And then, of course, you can add a new page by clicking on add new page and by giving it a name. So with that being said, that's your Bubble editor. And I know we went a little bit over 5 minutes, but that's Bubble in a nutshell. Hope this video helps, and feel free to reach out to me with any additional question you may have. Thank you, and good luck with your Bubble project.